Which brings us back to where we started. Can this wave cross China's borders? Can it infect the rest of the world? Yes, through travel. Airports and flights can become carriers. Let's now take a look at one of the world's busiest airports, which is experiencing an unprecedented meltdown as I speak. Even as the country in which it is located is suffering from a great COVID revival. I'm talking about the Heathrow Airport in Britain. The largest of 6 international airports in London and the second busiest airport in the world. It's in a state of mess. Or should I say absolute shambles. That's how the British media is describing the situation. What's all this about? A shortage, a crippling shortage of staff. It has plagued the airport for weeks now, with people waiting for their luggage for hours. Today, on the 20th of December, the situation took a turn for the worse. The airport looked absolutely nuts. The images on your screen tell the story. There were piles of luggage lying astray with no staff inside to deliver them. Now we know, December is the cruelest month for the global aviation sector. Almost every day is exceptionally hectic as people travel home for Christmas and New Year's. Is this the case with Heathrow too? Not really. The chaos you see at the airport is partly due to the ongoing strikes in the country. You see, essential services all over Britain have collapsed. I'm not exaggerating. Nurses, postal workers, rail unions, airport staff, the border force, all of them are on a striking spree. The aviation sector is the worst hit. Passengers entering Britain, even those leaving the country, are stuck at airports for hours. The situation could get worse as the number of flights pick up. Reports say the number of people visiting the UK this December could return to pre-pandemic levels. According to one estimate, the overall inbound visits by the end of this year could be 29.7 million. For 2023, the estimate is 35.1 million inbound visits. You may think this is good news. Well, if this is the number achieved, it could be a new record for the number of inbound visits to the country. I told you these numbers for a reason. It's now on your screens. The headline is from last week. It says, a COVID rebound is underway in the United Kingdom. Hospitalizations are rising 13%. This was last week. Look at this graph now. It tells you how hospitalizations have been on a constant rise this month. In fact, last Monday, more than 724 patients were admitted with the virus. This is the highest daily tally since October 27th. It doesn't end there. According to the UK's own data, the country has recorded over 57,000 cases in the last 1 week. 57,000. That's a big number. And it has spooked health experts. Some say the UK is definitely in a new wave. They've even identified potential hotspots. Somerset, Torbay, Plymouth, and Bristol, to name a few. They say the situation may be bleaker than back in 2020. It definitely poses a new threat for all of us. Another report says that doctors at the NHS have called the spike very concerning. They say the UK could be headed for a severe healthcare crisis. That's not all. Some experts are even suggesting the return of masks and testing. Once again, it's déjà vu. What does this tell you? That the United Kingdom could be, and I use that word with caution, it could be on track for another wave of the Wuhan virus. And if it gets in the grip of such a wave, it could become a nodal carrier of potential infections. We told you about the Heathrow Airport, how it's struggling this festive season, how passengers are waiting for hours in queues. The airport is overwhelmed with passengers from across the world. Is this the making of a new wave? Do they have reason to worry? Do we have reason to worry? I can't say for sure right now, but the numbers don't help. Over 80 million passengers go through Heathrow every year. More than 219,000 passengers go through this airport each day. And over 1,300 flights come and go from Heathrow per day. Just look at those numbers. How many of these flights come from China? How many of these passengers come from China? I know it's early to be asking these questions, but the situation in both these countries doesn't instill confidence. We know China is suffering. What about the UK? Well, as COVID cases rise, the country's health staff is on a protest. Look at these visuals now. These are nurses from the NHS protesting over low wages. Reports say more than 100,000 of them are protesting across the country. They're staging walkouts every other day. They say their movement will not end until the government meets their demands.
I've said time and time again, I won't dig in if they won't dig in, but they need to find a room and bring me into it. I'm looking for that room every single hour of the day. I will not be found wanting in getting into that room, and I will be available night or day to do that. He can bring this strike to a conclusion before the end of this week. He owes that to this profession. He owes it to every member of the public in the country, so let's do it right now.
Not undermining the movement, but the timing of it is indeed worrying. COVID cases are on the rise, inbound travel has picked up, and health workers are on strike. Do you get my point here? Could Britain be headed the China way? I want you to think about that. Could Britain too end up in the grip of a lethal wave? We shall find out in a matter of days, and we'll of course stay on top of this story. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.